Hi everyone, this is Matthew J. Peters. I am the CEO of Ascend Media, and today we're going to be talking about overcoming your camera fear. We're actually talking about how to transform your camera fear into on-camera charisma. I didn't start out with charisma, and it's something that I'm always striving to have more of. But today I'm going to go over 10 different things that you can look at incorporating into your on-camera presence, even if you hate being on camera. Because the fact is, everyone has presentation fear. It doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you've been on TV for years. You get the butterflies in your stomach, your heart races. A lot of the things that make you feel like you're going to be sick are actually amping your body up, ready to present your very best. It's the frame of mind you put yourself in. So if you get into a state of fear and all those things feel like they're fear, or they're warnings for something inside of you that you need to protect yourself against, you're going to shut down. But instead, if you feel those things, like you get the butterflies in your stomach, your heart races, your mouth gets dry, you realize I'm ready to go. That means I am pumped up. My body is ready for me to present to my fullest. That shift is really going to help you out. So I have actually 10 things I'm going to go over today, but really want you to realize that everybody, no matter where they are, they have presentation fear. And the more they care about their presentation, not just how they look, but really caring about transmitting both their knowledge, but having that value that they're transmitting, the more they care about it, the more they're actually going to feel it. So let's talk about this first one, is practice. There are videos that when I put them out live, there was 3 or 4 people that were on live. But going back years later, now I see there's 200 and some thousand people who have seen it. I have one video that has over 500,000 people have seen it. And guess what? I did not practice. Now looking back at it, I wish I would have, but I can't because I prepared for doing it for just a handful of people. So I want you to really think about this. When you are successful with your videos, they're going to be seen by thousands of people. If you take it over the course of months or years, thousands and thousands of people are going to see those videos. So do the preparation now. So practice in front of a mirror. If you are new to being on camera, just for like 5 minutes, just get yourself in front of the mirror, see yourself, and talk to yourself. It'll be very weird, very awkward. I get it. But just to see yourself and how you look in the mirror as you're talking to the mirror. And then memorizing your intro and your outro. It doesn't matter if you're doing any kind of speech on a stage or any other type of presentation. The more you can nail down your intro and your outro, the better. Number 2, present what you know. Start with your strongest stuff. The things you're passionate about, the things you have the most knowledge on are going to be the easiest things for you to talk about. And it's going to be very easy once you get on camera, you start talking about things you're comfortable with, that you're going to want to talk for 10 minutes and 20 minutes. And you got to then reel it back. And you realize right away when you're passionate about something, you're going to feel that passion coming through you and into the camera, and everyone else will as well. If you're flat and monotone, people aren't going to feel it. Number 3, you are in control. You have 100% editorial control. You can delete anything you don't like. Even a live stream. You did a live stream, it just was terrible, you can delete it. I'd recommend you don't and you just get through it, but you have the ability to delete anything. Nothing has to go live. You record it on a camera, you don't have to put it live anywhere. So you are in control. Number 4, don't do the tech. When you are first starting out, have a friend that is behind the camera, that gets everything set up, gets the microphone, they listen for the audio, make sure everything sounds good, looks good, the lighting's good, the background's good. And you don't have to think about that. You can focus on the message. Doing the message and then having to get all these other technical things right too, it's just a little too much when you start out. I totally understand that. Even when I taught it, I wanted people to have a friend or someone from their family, just get behind the camera. Actually, I started out with my son being behind the camera, even though he was, I think, about 6, 7 years old. It still worked. And then reviewing the notes with you. Here's a trick here, is when you're practicing, right before you go on, have someone say, here's the question you're going to be answering, and here are the 3 things you said you want to cover in it. And they remind you, and you pause, and you just go, and then you have those things at the top of your mind because someone just read them back to you. Number 5, bullet point it. I really love, right now I'm using slides, but you can use a little sticky note, and you can put it directly under the camera. So I'd put it like right here. So if I'm looking at the points, here's where I'm looking at the points. This is the lens. This is the points. It's so close, it's going to be very difficult for people to see that you're reading anything. And you're not going to be writing sentences. You just want a trigger word. So each point have a trigger word that's going to remind you of what you wanted to cover. And then remember your closing call to action. Don't do any more videos without a call to action or next steps for people to do something else. So the call to action is to get people to say, that was really great. What else do they have? What is my next step? How do I go deeper into this? Number 6, harness your energy. Know your prime time. So if you get lethargic in the afternoon after lunch, don't do your videos then. If you are not a morning person, but you feel like right around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning, you have your energy, or when it's like 7 p.m., that's when you have your energy, do your videos then. So don't fight it. Don't try to do it in a time that is going to be convenient for everybody else. When you're starting out, just do it when it's most convenient for your highest energy. You've got to bring the energy. You got to amp up your energy a little bit more than you normally would in a conversation with somebody, because the camera drops your energy significantly. So you do have to overact, move a little bit more than you normally would. And then caffeine is really good. Some people, they get that caffeine that's a nootropic that stimulates their brain, gets their brain moving faster. It's easier for them to recall things. Four Sigmatic is a coffee that has mushrooms in it. I think it has 3 types of mushrooms that are really good for cognitive function. You can mess around with different nootropics. Definitely do that on your own and find out what works for you. A lot of times just a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee over the course of 2 hours does it for me. That's all I need. It just gets my brain stimulated, and as I'm practicing and I'm having that caffeine, it really helps out a lot. 7, block time. Don't be rushed. I like to block a couple hours, even though I might use 45 minutes. There's going to be interruptions. There's going to be technical issues. Don't get all frustrated because you didn't block enough time for yourself. So 2 hours, even though you may use 45 minutes of it, that's great. You have an extra hour. You can do some marketing around that video if you choose. But I just want you to not cut yourself short on time. Number 8, pace yourself. Be energetic yet paced. So you want to have the energy, but you don't want to seem like you're rushing through everything. Pause and emphasize. So you want to make sure that you're not just going through 100 miles an hour. I'm doing a 10-minute training. I'm covering a lot in 10 minutes, but I also need to pause. That's going to help people reconnect with the message, because if it's going 100 miles an hour the whole time, it's going to go right through their heads. They're not going to really retain any of it, but if I pause, it's going to bring attention to the conversation again. Number 9, connect with your eyes. So I don't want you to look at the screen if you have a screen right next to you, or if you're looking in an iPhone or another smartphone and the screen is right here, you're looking at yourself. See where my eyes are? I have been disconnected with you. And this is where I would say is don't use a teleprompter, because this is what a teleprompter comes across as. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being on today. I'm so excited to have you on. We are going to be launching this great new product and service. It just seems so canned that you just lost the connection with me. Go through it enough so you don't need a teleprompter. A teleprompter is for if you're going to do like a call to action that's short and you had to get all the words exactly right, maybe you use that. But I'd also just recommend memorizing that. And then look through the lens 2 feet. I haven't seen anybody else teach this, but you realize if I'm focusing right on the lens here, that's the plane of focus where my eyes are. But if I look through it to something that's beyond it, so sometimes you can have like a sheet of paper or something that you can see behind it a couple feet. That's when you're actually focusing on the people that are watching it on their computer or their phone. They're about 2 feet away. And then number 10, do more live streams. Do more things that are live. It's counterintuitive because you want to be practicing, but doing things live is going to be helping you out tremendously. Don't stop and restart. You don't have the opportunity to stop and fix all your mistakes. All right, so you have one time through, and that's that. If you don't like it, I've done it before where I went through a whole live stream and I didn't like it, so I deleted it and went back and did it again. But it got me better at my material, right? So that's a really good way to practice your material. Real beats contrived. So if you are reading a teleprompter, that's going to be very different than if you are going off of the reality. Like right now, I've got some bullet points here you're going to see right here. And that's going to be much more of just triggers for me. What do I want to say about this? And then when you do this, when you go live more often and you don't have the crutch of all the editing, then you are prepared for anything. If I'm talking about on-camera presence or how to write a best-selling book, and I've done a live a few times, I've presented a few times, if someone asks me to be on their podcast or their radio show or television show or be on stage or speak about it in an audience for 5 minutes, I've done it so many times without editing and having to rely on the magic of post-production that off the cuff, I know my material, and it's not something that I have to go back and say, hold on, let me check my notes. It's because I've delivered it enough times that it becomes a part of me. So when you're doing a live stream, you don't have the ability to go back and make yourself better. It's a one-time through. So our number one goal for our clients is to present their very best self so they can connect deeply and meaningfully with potential prospects, earning trust and building desire to hire. So as we're creating all this media for our clients, we want to make sure that you are put in your best light. So if you're not good on camera, we know that beforehand. So we work with you before you do the production day or before you do your first video podcast. We have you just shoot some video of a pretend podcast, and then we give you direction on how you can do your production better. If you have someone that can do your lighting better, if you could present a little better, if you bring more energy, if you're not looking at the camera but you're always looking at your notes, those types of things, we want to make sure when you start out, you are at your very best. So people watch you and they believe that you've been doing this for years. And you can do that with a little bit of practice and some direction. So we help coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs expand their reach and elevate their online and offline presence with minimal time and effort on their part. What we do is we take the expert that you really are and we help people understand the value that you bring. What we don't do is manufacture celebrity. You know, just like this is all fluff and smoke and mirrors, we don't do that. What we do is we make sure whatever it is that your magic is, we clearly put that out for people to understand, and we promote that everywhere. So people get the ultimate value that you bring into their lives. A lot of times, as we are marketing ourselves, and I have this challenge sometimes too, there are people who can sell me better than I can sell myself. I can look at your programs, your services, and say, oh, here's how I'd market it. Like that, because that's a strength of mine in other people, because my eyes and my ears are pointed out, not pointed in. So sometimes it takes someone for you to look at your material and give you feedback so you can see what it is that you're offering and the true value that other people see that you're bringing that you may not see. One of the things I do is I mine for gold nuggets, the things that you may not see yourself, but I can see by looking at what you've been offering so far, the results of your clients, and put it all together. If you want someone to help you with creating your media and up-leveling everything, your brand, your messaging, all of your videos, having a podcast, doing all of those things with you and for you professionally, go ahead and reach out to me. Book a call at ascendmedia.com/call. That's ascend, ASYND media.com/call. Thanks so much for being on today, and I look forward to talking with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.